All right, everybody. We are here live to talk about autism. If you're an autism parent, if you think you have a child that could be diagnosed with autism, if you have autism, this is the spot for you to come, to learn, to talk, to cry, to laugh. We are just barely starting our live stream, so come on in and we're going to get started here momentarily. A little bit about myself while you're coming in. So I'm an autism advocate. I have 2 kids with autism. And they mean the world to me. They're 3.5 years old and then almost 2 years old. And my 3.5-year-old was diagnosed a couple years ago, and my 2-year-old was just diagnosed last month. And we are just getting started on this journey, but it's a lot. I'm not new to autism, though. Hey, Faith, good to see you. I'm a professional in this field. I've done ABA therapy for a long time. I've worked with people with autism since 2013. I have a master's degree in autism studies. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst, and I run a company in the state of Utah that provides services to people with autism. And so I go live every single day to have real conversations with you guys about autism. Maybe we can talk about some misinformation. Maybe we can just address common misconceptions. Maybe we can learn together. I don't know everything, and I'll tell you when I don't know something, but I do like coming on here to learn with you guys, to talk with you guys, and to provide support. Be tapping on that screen, everybody. These first few minutes of the live does really have a big impact on how big of a reach our platform has overall. So be tapping on that screen. Let's get the likes going. As soon as we get to 20,000 likes, I do go over the daily autism news. Hey, Justine, good to see you. Hello, hello. Let me pull up some other things here. Do you know if emotional support animals, maybe? Is that what you're saying, are beneficial? Good morning, Lexi. Good to see you. So there are actually some service animals that can support people with autism. I can talk about that at some point. Oh, plushies. Oh, I'm not sure on that one. I don't know. If someone with autism enjoys it and it helps regulate them, then it's beneficial for them. But I don't know of research on that for the broad spectrum. Do you think masking autism is harmful for the community? I do. I think the best thing for our community, for society, is for people with autism to not feel like they have to mask. Now, of course, sometimes you may say masking is essential if there's, urges to do a harmful behavior or something like that. But really, it's learning what outlets you do have so you don't have to feel like you're masking. Oh, Lexi, my son has 1 million plushies. Yes. Okay. Asia, thank you. All right, everybody. I am still just barely getting things started. Welcome in, everybody. A little bit about myself, if you're just barely coming in, is I am an autism advocate. I have children diagnosed with autism, 2 kids that are autistic, and I have a master's degree in autism studies. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst, so I do ABA therapy, but I run a company in the state of Utah. And I just love coming on these live streams every single day. I'm an hour late than usual. Usually I go live at around noon Eastern time, but I just barely got started. I have 2 kids diagnosed with autism. The almost 4-year-old, the 3.5-year-old is a boy, and then the almost 2-year-old is a girl. So, okay. So put your questions in the chat. Be tapping on that screen. As soon as we get to 20,000 likes, I go through the autism news of the day. Kim says, any recommendations on how to help my son with tolerating clothing? All he will wear is a hoodie. Oh, man. Kim, I first want you to know that you're not alone. Tolerating clothing can be a big deal for kids with autism. And it's hard because that's not one of the, you can't send them to school without clothes. You talk about masking autism. There are some things that, people with autism, they have to learn and help their body adjust to get used to some of those sensory inputs. Now, we can make it more comfortable. So there's a few approaches you can take. And I do recommend, especially an occupational therapist is really well suited to help talk through some of these problems with you. But finding clothing that meets their current sensory needs. And I have experience on the professional level, but also the personal level. My son He will tolerate his clothes, but the first 5 minutes of having them on, he hates, and he fights and he cries, and then he gets used to it. But clothing is not something that's optional. We've tried to change what they wear, but it's really trying to make it as comfortable as possible for him. Okay. All right. If you are here, I want to get a little bit of information on the people here. I'm curious. Put parent in the chat. Well, you know what we'll do? Put 1 in the chat if you're an autism parent. That's what we're going to do. Put 1 in the chat if your child has autism. Put 2 in the chat if you are diagnosed with autism. Or put 3 in the chat if you're still trying to get a diagnosis. I'm mixing it up today. 3 is you're trying to get a diagnosis for your child or for yourself. 1, 2, or 3. Let's see if we got people still trying to learn and get a diagnosis. That's a 3 there in the chat. Oh yeah, special ed teacher can be number 4. Yes, Regan. Thank you. If you're a professional or just interested in the topic, put 4. Grandparent, you're a parent. You're part of this village. You know what? You're a 1. Put 1 for if you're a grandparent as well. All right, we got some other 4s. There we go. We got some professionals. Hey, if you put 4, if you are a professional, what kind of professional are you? Put it in the chat. I saw someone say they're a special ed teacher. Do we have any RBTs, any occupational therapists, any BCBAs, any speech therapists in here? I'm curious who we got in here. This is a good conversation, you guys. Oh, behavioral interventionist. Love it, Val. Love it. Oh, my son's evaluation is set for April 14th. That's coming up. That's not too much of a wait for you. That's wonderful. Was an RBT, now medical necessity specialist. Morgan, love it. Okay, LPC, coffee, great. RBT, there we go. Do you know autism and SYNGAP 1 is same thing? I'm not informed on that one, Saf. I can't comment on that. Not sure. How should I go about potty training my 3.5-year-old boy? Gestalt language, echolalia. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about potty training, you guys. All right, I'm curious. Put in the chat if you have an autism or an autistic child. Put yes if your child is potty trained, and then say the age at which they were potty trained, or put no if they're not yet potty trained and their age. So yes in their age or no and their age. Yes in the age when they were potty trained. I want to know. Put yes in the chat if your child is potty trained. Oh, Danielle, 2, wonderful. 5, 7. Tanya, no, 13 years old, wonderful. Guys, let me say this first. As a society, we put too much value on whether or not a child is potty trained. If you have a child with autism, I don't want you to feel any pressure or frustration or a feeling of failure if you have not yet toilet trained your child. It does not reflect your value as a parent or your success as a parent. I have interviewed hundreds of people for jobs, and never once have I asked them at what age they were toilet trained. As a professional, I have helped toilet train adults with autism who had not yet successfully learned to use a toilet. And so you're able to learn, people are able to learn, but it's a lot of work. So what do we do when we toilet train? Well, first of all, know that it can be challenging. And I recommend you don't start it until you're ready to go all in. And I'm talking about like when we potty train my 3.5-year-old, I'm going to be taking a week off of work, maybe just a couple days. We'll see over the weekend and then a couple days. And it is an all hands on deck type of a situation where you have your village helping you, you have people involved, and you have a written down plan. This is not something that you just casually put your kid on the toilet, okay? With toilet training, you go all in and you work with your care team, your behavior analyst, your occupational therapist, your speech therapist, make sure everyone's on the same page of how we're doing this. Everyone feels good about it. And what it includes is 1, get rid of the diapers during the day. Now, if you want to keep them at night, that's fine. You can wait at night, but during the day, No more diapers, just underwear. And for the first couple of days, all they're going to wear is their underwear. No shirt, no pants. You're going to stay home, and we're going to toilet train. Step number 2, you're going to give as many fluids as possible. You're going to, if their favorite thing to drink is chocolate milk, well, go buy yourself a few gallons of chocolate milk, and they have unlimited access for a couple days. I know it's not healthy, but it's going to give them as many opportunities to void in the toilet as possible. Step number 3, and all of this is written down on the plan, you're going to implement a sitting schedule with your child where usually where we start is like 1 or 2 minutes of sitting on the toilet and 15 minutes of being off of the toilet. And if they don't have accidents during those 15 minutes, well, guess what? You are able to start expanding that time from 15 minutes to 20 minutes to 30 minutes. And eventually your child is going to be toilet trained. It's just a matter of time before they accidentally void in the toilet. And then they learn, they succeed. You reinforce when they're successful. You reinforce when they're dry. And a key part here is a lot of kids don't want to be in the bathroom. They don't want to sit on the toilet. So how do you get them to do it? And you write this down in the plan. You make the bathroom the place to be. It is the place where the party happens. If they have an iPad, well, suddenly the iPad is only available in the bathroom. For boys especially, this is helpful because you can lay it down in front of them. You don't teach a boy to urinate standing up. You have them sit down. You put the iPad on the floor, and that way they have to lean over and look at it. And what that does, it aims down naturally, and so it avoids some spilling as they're learning. And if you only allow the iPad while they're in there, well, they may just want to be there all day, and that's okay too if that helps them start learning. So, guys, this is just general advice, okay? I really recommend you don't do all this on your own. You have a team, a care team, and what they write down will look pretty similar to something like that. Okay. Talk about lack of support after 18. He is going day program, but it is like babysitting place. Oh, the Autism Corner. How did you know that I was like that? I'm so passionate about this. I don't know if you knew this, the Autism Corner, but this is something I am extremely passionate about because I see this a lot. There's a huge focus on early intervention within autism, as there should be. It's effective. We need early intervention at age 2, 3, 4. But autism doesn't end in childhood. There are people that have high support needs as teenagers and well into adulthood, and services are lacking. A lot of places, the services that they do get is like a day program where they have, 6 people with autism for every 1 staff that's there. Something that my company does in Utah is we actually have a clinic. We're opening our 4th clinic. And a couple of our clinics are actually devoted to teens and adults with autism, where they get ABA therapy as adults. We have been able to work on some really effective things using ABA therapy. People that never had ABA therapy as a kid, but now they're going and they're learning how to communicate, how to use the toilet, learning how to date. All levels on the spectrum can benefit from that. And so we do need more supports, more service providers that serve people across the spectrum and across ages. Do you believe the autism spectrum can be a form of Asperger's disease? So Asperger's is no longer a diagnosis. In the United States, in 2013, they got rid of the Asperger diagnosis and lumped it into the autism spectrum. And so autism spectrum, the diagnosis as it exists today, replaced what was autism before, which was more profound autism, as well as Asperger's, and broadened the spectrum. And so, the Asperger's isn't really a thing anymore. The Phillips, where are your adult centers? What cities? American Fork and Ogden. Ogden, we also, both of these, we do kids in the afternoons and teenagers and adults during the day. The one in Ogden is really cool because we actually bought a clinic that has an indoor pool, and we work on water safety during sessions. As we know, that's a huge risk factor for people with autism. All right, everybody, we have 7,000 likes. Just a reminder for everybody in here, as soon as we hit 20,000 likes, I do go over the daily autism news. Okay, DSM-6 is looking to remove the spectrum and go back to separate diagnosis. How do you feel? Tanya, I haven't heard that they're looking at getting rid of the spectrum. What I am learning about is as an additional diagnosis to the autism spectrum, they're looking at adding profound autism as a separate diagnosis that can be added on, I think, at the age of 7 or 8, depending on qualifications there, on how they progress in childhood. What about sensory processing disorder? My 2-year-old has it. Kaylin, so sensory processing disorder is separate from autism. However, that is one area that overlaps. So there are kids who, the parents think they might be on the spectrum because maybe they stim, or maybe there are some things that bother them sensory-wise. And when they do the evaluation, they find, no, it's just sensory issues. They don't meet the other qualifications. And so autism includes more than sensory issues. Good question there. Tanya, yes, we definitely need profound added. Yeah, I think that could give some clarity. My only concern is if insurance providers then try to justify a reduction in support for people with autism and only give it to those diagnosed with profound. Because the biggest impacts we have are we see so much improvement in those that could be profound, but because of services, they've been able to get support and able to lessen the amount of supports that they need going on. Getting our nonverbal 3-year-old diagnosed. What is the likelihood of him ever speaking? Brittany, your child is 3. Your child is 3. If you get a diagnosis of autism for your child, if he has autism, if he's autistic, and he starts early intervention, I've seen conflicting data. Okay. I've seen anywhere between 2/3 of kids at the age of 3, all the way up to about 90% of kids who are age 3 who start early intervention, like ABA therapy and speech therapy, become fully conversational within about 2 years. So it's not exact. There's a lot of missing data there, but I don't want to give false hope. But I also want to add that your child's value does not come in the form that they communicate. Your child, we want our kids to communicate as autism parents. We want our kids to communicate, not because it increases their value as a human. They're already there. They have that value. They're beautiful. We support them. We love them. But because communicating their wants and needs opens the door for them to get more reinforcement. They're able to say things that are bothering them. They're able to express the things that they want. They're able to have higher degree of reinforcement for social interactions. We want that for our kids. But really, all that we're doing as autism parents, we are not trying to make our kids neurotypical. That is not the goal of autism parenting. It is to increase their access to reinforcement. Okay, Tarek says, hey, what's your thoughts on the OAT tests? Okay, let me tell you, there's a lot of predatory marketing going on out there. And a lot of these predatory marketing, they start with research. They start with things that are true. For example, we do know that kids with autism have more gut problems. Now, we don't know if it is what that relationship is exactly. A lot of people think it is, with people with autism, they have more restricted diets, which can lead to more GI issues. But then some of these predatory marketing take a leap and they say, okay, well, since we know people with autism have more gut health problems, then what we need is a specialized test that insurance won't pay for that identifies very, very small problems throughout the body. We're going to make it seem like big problems and sell you detox protocols. And so my problem with the OAT test is it's a funnel to get you to buy their detox protocols. My recommendation is if you have concerns with your child's nutrition, with their gut health, go to your pediatrician, have them run labs. Your pediatrician can run labs and they can recommend vitamins or supplements if they are truly necessary. But a lot of these things that are sold to parents to really truly address autism symptoms, the research doesn't support actually doing that, that they don't actually address autism symptoms. All right, everybody. Did we get, let's see here. If you are, I want to know where everyone's from, actually. Go ahead and put in the chat, what state are you in, you guys? Let me know. What state are you in or what country are you in? I want to know where our reach is today. We got Nebraska. We got Texas. Yeah, we have 15,000 likes and it's only 20 minutes in. This is amazing. As soon as we get to 20,000, we do go over the daily autism news of the day. California, Canada, South Carolina, Georgia. Hello, hello. I didn't see any Utahs. If you're in Utah, put it in the chat. I'm from Utah. Love connecting with other autism parents here in Utah. New York, West Virginia, UK, Washington State, Romania, Texas. My goodness, you guys are all over the place. Netherlands. All right, everybody. Yeah, that's great. My goodness. Son, 6 years old, and says one word to communicate. Is there a chance he will talk in full sentences? Rita, maybe. As autism parents, we want to hear our kids' voice. We want to give our kids a voice. I want my kid to say, I love you. And it's really hard. I think the hardest part about being an autism parent is not knowing the future for our child. I can't plan. Should I be saving for college for my son? I don't know. Is he going to fully communicate? Is he going to be able to have conversations? Is he going to be able to go and get married and have kids on his own? I don't know. I don't know the support that my child is going to need throughout his life. And to me, that is one of the biggest sources of anxiety as a parent of kids with autism. And so to answer your question, I don't know. But I do know what you need to do. What we need to focus on is not what is our kid going to be like in the future. It's not what are they going to do? Are they ever going to be able to talk? The question that you need to be asking yourself is, am I doing everything that I need to do to make that as likely as possible? Whoa, Averin, thank you for the hat and mustache. That means the world, really. Thank you. Parents, remember, we are our kids' voice and advocate for them to have the necessary tools to speak. Thank you, Clever. Guys, we really just need to focus on, are we doing our part to make it as likely that they become the most supported and best version of themselves possible? And other than that, once we realize that the rest is out of our control, it gives you a sense of freedom. It's okay if your child needs support for the rest of their life. It's okay if they only talk in one-word sentences. But what I'm going to do is make sure that I have the best support for them to increase the chances that they become the best version of themselves. Food therapy didn't work for us. Is there anything else we can try? I would need more details. Did you go through a speech therapist, occupational therapist, or ABA therapy who did the eating therapy? Let me know, Blizzard, because you might just need to find someone who works better with your child. Don't give up just because food therapy didn't work. I'd also want to know, what are you trying to accomplish with food therapy? Are you trying to increase the amount of foods that your child consumes? Increase the variety? Okay, we got another question. Is there more that I can be doing? Oh, you went through a speech therapist. Okay, speech therapists are great. You might want to just find a different person, whether it's, you could find an OT or another speech therapist that's trained in feeding therapy. Don't give up on it though, because that is the most evidence-based way to do it. It's just a slow process though. If you're looking for results within the next month, not going to happen. You're talking about doing this weekly for the next couple of years, and at the end of this, ending up having a few more selections for your child to be able to eat. Yeah, trying to get him to eat better. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Someone had asked before, can I be doing more for my child? I think autism parents, although I said we need to make sure we're doing everything we need to do, a lot of parents take that too far. And what they say is, that what they need to do is not only the basics, but I need to go above and beyond. And even if there's a slight chance that going gluten-free will help, we're going to do that. Even if there's a small chance that this medication is going to help, we're going to do that. And they try to do everything, okay? And sometimes, I want to tell you, sometimes doing less is more for your child. Let's talk about that for a second. What are the steps of this autism journey? Okay? The very first step is you need a village. And I'm going to say this because today I am leaving my 4 children with my wife and I am going to the movies by myself. And I'm not going to worry about my kids for a minute, and I'm going to go and take care of myself and have a good time. Earlier this week, I went golfing by myself and left my wife to take care of the kids. And I don't feel bad about it. Do you know why? Because last night, my wife did the same thing. And a couple nights before that, my wife went out into the community with a bunch of her sister, two of her sisters, and they went to a crafting activity that was put on. And so, we have this balance where we recognize, hey, we still need a life. We still need to go do things that we enjoy. We need to go recharge. And the best thing for my kids with autism is having a parent that's regulated, a parent who has gone and taken care of themselves. Oh, thank you, Lexi, for calling that out. And so if your very first thing that you need to do is do a village, and sometimes the best thing you can do for your kids is taking more time for yourself, not adding on more therapies. Once you get your diagnosis, though, that's part 2. Then part 3 is building your care team. And the very basics you need to worry about, and then sleep well at night knowing that you're doing enough, is consider the options of these 4 therapies: ABA therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and mental health therapy. Those are the 4 options. I'm not saying do all 4, but decide which of those. Maybe you'll do 2 of them, maybe 3, and decide what does your child need for the best support. Okay, we have the daily autism news of the day, everybody. We have hit 21,000 likes, which means we are able to go through the autism news of the day. Let me go ahead and pull that up. I wanted to talk today about the controversial article published in the Wall Street Journal. Have you guys heard about this? Put yes in the chat if you've heard about the controversial autism therapy Wall Street Journal article. Put yes in the chat, or no if you haven't. I want to know. Annie, stay tuned. I will definitely talk about those 4 therapies again. Oh my gosh, Wagner, are you kidding me? Another mustache? Holy cow. Thank you. Okay. Let me go ahead and talk to you about this article. So there's an article that says the boom in autism therapy is Medicaid's fastest growing jackpot. And it's an article bashing on ABA therapy. What they're talking about is they bring up one specific situation in this article. And what ended up happening to this ABA therapy company is it was in the state of Indiana. And oh my gosh, this company was terrible. Okay, here's what happened. And really the system was bad. In Indiana, the way that it worked is in every other state or in most states, Medicaid just pays the rate that they decide. They say, hey, you get paid $20 an hour, and they reimburse you at that rate. In Indiana, what they said is, we will pay you 25% of whatever you bill. What? Are you kidding me? And so what did companies end up doing? They ended up billing $3,000 an hour. We have an autism therapy company here who billed $29 million or got paid $29 million to provide therapy to just 84 patients. That's about $340,000 a child. They did this. Their highest that they got paid was $640 per hour. They did that by billing about $2,500 per hour for their services, and Medicaid just by default paid the lower amount. And so this went on. They billed so much, and now Wall Street Journal is saying the boom in autism therapy is Medicaid's fastest growing jackpot. Let me tell you why this concerns me, okay? Because first of all, I run an ABA company. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst, and I have 2 kids with autism. I know this world inside and out. And I can tell you, ABA companies, especially the ethical ones that are owned by clinicians like my company, it is not a jackpot, you guys. I am working all day, every day. My only break is coming on these lives and occasionally going golfing or to the movies like I talked about. But I am working all the time. And these ABA companies, most ABA companies are just barely getting by, okay? We're trying to make sure we have enough for payroll, okay? We're taking out, loans on our homes to be able to pay our employees because we have to pay our employees before insurance pays us. And so I just think it's concerning if we look at ABA as this big monster, all focused on profits. Because what I see a different story, a different side of this, that there are amazing clinicians out there that are really doing this just to help your kids out. That's what I wanted to share today. All right, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Yes, Bad, thank you for sharing that. If you need a village or have questions, join our YT Facebook or Discord. Links are in my bio. Yes. The Lotus says we all need to eat more brain food and less processed food. Medical industry is a business to make money. The Lotus, I agree that diet is important. It doesn't have to do with autism though. Just putting that out there. I will say that the sentiment in this kind of article that talks about how the medical industry is just trying to grab money, what that does is it causes some states to cut their rates. It causes some states to drop providers. And I have friends on this very live who can't get into therapy that their child needs. When I talk about, hey, 90% of kids who go into these early intervention therapies learn to communicate, guess what happens to those who don't? That percentage is much, much lower. These early intervention therapies are critical. Matt says, why are you using person-first language instead of identity-first language? That is a great question. I use both interchangeably. I say autistic people or people with autism. And the truth is that in Utah, for the past 13 years that I have lived in Utah, every single year, the state requires that we are trained on using person-first language. That is what we're all trained on. That and this was a lot more common several years ago. People did not want to be called autistic; they wanted to be called people with autism, and with other disabilities or situations. Like some people hate being called like they have bipolar. They would prefer to be called that they have bipolar instead of they are bipolar, or and so it really depends on the person and what they prefer. And if I'm talking to someone one-on-one and they say, hey, just call me autistic. Sure, that's great. But most people diagnosed with autism don't have a strong preference. And those that do, I will gladly talk to them how they want to be talked about. So let's just not make people worried about talking about autism. Like the moment we say, like, try to control every single word that comes out of someone's mouth about autism, it closes people off to having discussions about autism. And I hope people know by the way I talk about autism and the neuroaffirming messages that I share, my thoughts on autism, because I believe autism is beautiful. I think that people with autism don't need to be cured. I don't think there is a cure for autism, but I think the world needs to be cured of intolerance. I think the world needs to be cured to be more accepting. That's what I think. So forgive me if you prefer autistic person and I refer to you as a person with autism. Please forgive me and know that I love you. I care about you, and if I see you in person, let me know your thoughts, and I'll try to as much as possible talk about it the best way. How can I support our daughter who lives 12 hours away and husband is in denial? Oh, why do I hear about this so often, you guys? This frustrates me so bad. Have you guys seen this before? Put yes in the chat if you have seen personally where a family member doesn't accept an autism diagnosis. Put yes in the chat. I want to know, have you guys seen this? My mother is in denial. Yes. Okay. Let me know. Let me know, you guys. I see this all the time, and it's not every time, but let me be honest with what I see. Quite often, the mother is spending all day, every day with their child. They know something is wrong, that their child needs more support. And their spouse, who is working all day, makes the mother feel like she is failing as a parent and that she needs to improve her parenting instead of pursuing supports for autism. And I'm not saying that is always what happens, okay? Please don't be offended by this, because that's not the case in every situation. But I just hear about this all the time. Whatever way it works, I think the spouse who is less connected with the child ends up doubting the diagnosis sometimes. And that can be really invalidating to the parent who is with that child all the time. Now, the question was, how do I think as a grandparent, help my daughter whose husband is like this and lives 12 hours away? You need to be there for your daughter. That doesn't mean they're in person, but you need to have real conversations. You need to make sure that your daughter knows that she didn't cause this problem. That she didn't, first of all, autism is not a problem, but she didn't cause the supports that need to happen. There was nothing that she did during pregnancy or during parenting that caused her child to be autistic. And that supports putting the label of autism onto their child does not limit their child's future. Rather, it opens the door to resources to increase the likelihood of what success looks like for that person. Okay, what's your take on stem cell therapy and TMS and its benefit on autism? Okay, there are a lot of fringe therapies out there. A lot of fringe therapies. Now, I call them fringe because they're not yet evidence-based. Insurance doesn't pay for them. I had a comment on a post yesterday that said, I'm ex-autistic because I had stem cell therapy, and so now I don't have autism, and I was cured. And I am really concerned about that kind of language. And I'll tell you what, insurance does not like it when we diagnose kids with autism because it opens the door to a lot of services that they need, like ABA therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, mental health therapy. And if there was an easy way out of this through diet, through a medication, or through stem cell therapy, they would gladly pay the $20,000 for stem cell therapy than lifelong supports for that child. Insurance would be all over that. It's not the case because it has not been found to be effective. A lot of times you have to go out of the country is where you have to go to get stem cell therapy unless you're participating in a what is it called? In a trial. But that should be an indication to you that if you have to go out of the country, it's not FDA approved. This isn't some secret that you found that you're giving your child the best chance at. What you're actually doing is wasting resources that could be spent otherwise. Something that my family is doing. Don't tell my kids this. They don't know. Okay? They don't know this. Don't ruin it for my kids, you guys, if you see them. But I have set up and scheduled to have an in-ground trampoline put in my backyard. Now, what do I think is better for my 3.5-year-old with autism who loves to jump and has high sensory needs? Do I think it's better for him to go to Mexico and get stem cell therapy? Or do I think it's better to have access in my own home for him to go and have his sensory needs met? That's why I say these fringe therapies, that's not where I want you putting your resources. You put your resources to create the best environment for your child. Be true. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. All right, you guys. Do you think, oh my goodness, Wagner. Thank you so much. Is that the third mustache I've had today or fourth? 1, 2, 3. Guys, I've already had 3 of those. That's wild in a single time. What do you think about leucovorin, and do you think insurance covers it? Okay, leucovorin is not the same as a lot of these fringe therapies. When I talk about detox protocols, there's an abundance of research, and there's not a whole lot of benefit that comes from them with regards to autism. But leucovorin is not in the same category. Leucovorin is there's a strong theory behind it, and there's a lot of research being done about it. Now, there have been 5 randomized clinical trials published, one of which was retracted. It was the largest. And the remaining 4 don't have amazing results, fairly mixed, and it is not yet FDA approved for autism or for the folate antibody test. So the only thing leucovorin is for is a very rare genetic condition that impacts probably 200 or 300 people in the entire country of the United States. And so leucovorin is not yet paid for by insurance, not yet FDA approved. And you just need to be mindful of that. There's also some potential risks of using it. It can increase aggression. So it's something I'm personally excited about. I'm excited to learn about it. And perhaps at some point, it'll have its place in this autism journey that I talk about. As of right now, that is not the general consensus among doctors and experts. And so I have not yet started that with my child or with my children. But I'm optimistic and I'm helpful. Heidi says, I saw a TikTok yesterday saying that it was already FDA approved. Yeah, they approved it for a genetic mutation specifically addressing folate deficiency. And a lot of autism parents saw that and misunderstood and thought it applied generally to people who take the FRAT test. And that's not the case at all. And so it is not FDA approved for autism or for the folate antibody test. Oh, Autism Corner said, oh my gosh, Wagner, are you kidding me? Another hat? That is crazy to get that many hats in one day. This is not usually a gifting live. That's crazy. That's wild. Life in Parish, sending you a DM about being a guest on my podcast. Love to. Podcasts are great. And if it's, an hour of my day that I can take out and talk about autism, I'd love to do it. Autism Corner says, my son's neurologist didn't recommend as it interacted with seizure meds. Yeah, you got to be careful. Talk to your doctors, you guys. Don't talk to people on TikTok to get your medical advice. Even me, like I don't give medical advice here. We just talk about autism. We support each other. And we talk about the team that you need of professionals to look at your child. Is it possible for 3 siblings to be autistic? Yes. Okay, so if you have one child diagnosed with autism, it does increase the likelihood that you'll have another child diagnosed with autism. In my household, we have the first 2 kids are not diagnosed with autism. They're 10 and 7. And then my youngest 2 are diagnosed with autism. User says, my insurance is covering leucovorin. Love that. That's great. That's not the norm. It's that can be a hard thing to get covered. Does ABA help with PDA? Yes, it can, but it can also hurt PDA. Let me explain why. You need a provider who understands PDA. Pathological demand avoidance, guys, PDA, is a profile of autism. And it's not an official diagnosis in the United States. It is in the UK. But I would be surprised if it did not find its way into the DSM at some point. But PDA refers to the response that many people with autism have towards demands. That when you ask someone to do something, their body has a very real anxiety-like reaction to that request and to authority. And so you may say, hey, go get your shoes on, but you might as well have just told them to go put their hand on a hot stove. And so the traditional ABA, there are some interventions that are done that if someone is in a heightened anxious state like that, and you're trying to teach them in that moment, like, could you force a kid to put their hand on a hot stove? Maybe. Should you? Well, that's another discussion. You absolutely should not. And so there are better ways of working with PDA that is within ABA, but the provider just needs to be expert and trained on it. Don't like ABA. That's okay. There are concerns that some people have with ABA. Let me tell you a little bit about oh my goodness, thank you, Wagner, for the goat. There are some concerns that people have with ABA, and they're valid, especially if you talk to some autistic adults that went through ABA as a kid. Some of their experiences are traumatizing where, they were forced to not flap their hands. They were forced to make eye contact when it hurt them. Are you kidding me? Another hat? You need to stop that. It's interrupting me at this point, Wagner. My goodness. Thank you so much. That means the world, Wagner. Holy cow. A little bit of context here is ABA is powerful. There is no doubt and nobody questions whether or not ABA changes behaviors. It does. It does. I mean, that's not something that you can question. It's just a fact that it is extremely effective at teaching skills and changing behaviors. Now, the question is, should you address those behaviors? And that is the concern a lot of people have with ABA is the provider addressing things like masking? Are they trying to make the person not flap their hands when that's a good behavior to do? Is the ABA provider focusing on compliance? I had someone tell me once that ABA told them that they taught their kid that they're not allowed to say no to adults. I mean, what? ABA should be teaching the opposite. ABA gives a voice to a child to learn how to say no and advocate to get out of something that they don't want to do. And so, yeah, if you are getting ABA and you're worried that they're addressing behaviors that are harming your child, know that they're going to change your child's behavior. They're going to hit those goals. But should they? And that is the problem some people have with ABA. I am very pro ABA. I run a company that does ABA, and I'm a BCBA. But I can acknowledge that sometimes ABA has harmed people, and it's not because it's not effective. I mean, it's because it's effective that it has harmed people, and it's in the way that they have chosen to address behaviors. Yeah, Mrs. Crystal, kids are humans. They're allowed to say no. Absolutely. Yes. Your kid saying no to you is not a problem behavior. We want our kids to be able to advocate. We encourage stims. Our ABA does not shut down our son's stims. In 6 months, he is using words. That's what I'm talking about, C. Willis. I mean, it is evidence-based. This is a very effective strategy to addressing behaviors. And it sounds like you got a good ABA provider. But even today, I do still hear of some stories of parents that are unhappy with some of the ways that they've addressed behaviors with their children. And just be mindful of that. We do need to educate ourselves on what good ABA looks like. All right, everybody. What is causing the higher risk in autism now compared to the 80s or 90s? Brino, what a good question. What a good question. Let me introduce myself, then I'm going to get to that. Just every 20 minutes or so, I like to do a brief introduction of why I'm here. And while I do that, are you here for the first time, everybody? If you're here for the very first time, if I came across your For You page today, please put FYP in the chat. I want to know if you just found me and came across me today on your For You page. Put FYP in the chat. I want to know. I think there's quite a few people. Okay, for those of you new here, let me do a quick introduction. I have 2 children diagnosed with autism. They mean the world to me. I will move mountains and have moved mountains for my children. Second day watcher. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here. That's amazing. Autistic Dope. Thank you. Thank you for being here. You came across last week. I try to get to everyone. Sissy Silent Follower. That's who I want to celebrate. The silent followers, you guys. Thank you for being here. If you're a silent follower and watch me regularly but don't comment, put silent in the chat. Maybe no one will because they're silent, but put silent in the chat. If you're one that doesn't comment, I want to know. But a little bit about me is I have 2 kids with autism. Okay, welcome, Kay. Hey, Gracie. Good to see you. Okay, there's a few people. There's a few people that are silent here. I see you all. I see you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So a little bit about me is that although I'm an autism dad, I'm also a professional in the field. I'm a board certified behavior analyst. I have a master's degree in autism studies. I'm a fierce autism advocate. If you're trying to address an issue with autism where you live, message me about it. I'd love to give advice. I know Destiny is working on something, and I'm going to be meeting with her and talking to her about some advocacy stuff. I met with my state senator, on Monday, and had a really productive conversation about autism services in Utah. I'm also a CEO. I serve people with autism, and I go live every day. It's my favorite thing to do. So right here, you can see the follow button. Tap that button so that you are able to find me next time I go live. Tana, you're in Utah too? I love that. Thank you. Thank you all. Are there legit places online that don't cost a fortune that will diagnose an adult? There are. I'm not going to recommend them yet. I'm in discussions with a few. I want to partner with a few because there's such a need here that I want to do proper vetting and find the place I send people. Because people, adults who are considering whether or not they have autism, we need a place to be able to go and get an evaluation, a place that's reputable, a place that accepts insurance as it should, that we can receive a diagnosis. So one more chapter says, can I ask how you get the community around you to help with advocacy? Okay. You have to, it all comes down to how the problem is affecting you, and sharing that story. That is what needs to happen. For example, if you are in a place where there's no ABA therapy, if you're in the United States and there's no providers, or you're having an issue accessing services or insurance is denying things, you learn how that's impacting your family and your child, and you spread that message widely, and people will rally behind that. People rally behind emotional impact because it's real. It causes real damage to not have the services that we need. Andrew says, at least in my state, online diagnoses are not considered valid. I don't know that there can be a policy on that. I'd love to. What state is that? I'd love to read about that. And it's not only online. I mean, people think online, but also most places it's a hybrid that you do, 90% of it online, and then you go in for an hour. My daughter has been on a waiting list for ABA Intercity for 1.5 years now. Sophia. Holy cow. 1.5 years wait. I need to break something to you. You might not be on a wait list anymore. That can be the entire lifespan of an ABA company, 1.5 years. Some companies go out of business before they even make it 1.5 years old. And that might be your only option. But if it's not, I want to challenge everybody. If you are currently on a wait list for ABA, I want you to know that access to ABA is increasing, okay? Now, some places it's genuinely, there are no places without a wait, and then get on multiple wait lists. But I have had discussions with people who came on here who said that they were on a long wait list, and I challenged them to go out and call 3 ABA providers and see if they can get in. And they came back on 30 minutes later and said that they were already sent the intake paperwork and could start services somewhere. And so don't hold to one wait list. You call around, you get into different options. What is ABA? So ABA therapy is applied behavior analysis. When you get an autism diagnosis, a lot of autism parents then have to, they've been promoted now. They are a care team manager. They have to manage a care team of experts. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to manage the experts. And so who are the experts I recommend? Well, first is a pediatrician. You need a good pediatrician that knows autism. The second is you need to get your therapies in order. And so what therapies are available? ABA therapy is one of the most intensive therapy that you can get for a child with autism. And I say intensive because quite often it's up to 30 hours a week of services that your child might get. And they focus on communication, learning skills, decreasing problem behavior, and they do it in a really intensive and fun way that your child usually loves. The other 3 therapies that I recommend are occupational therapy. They do a lot of sensory needs. A lot of times they're good at feeding therapy. Speech therapy, which focuses on communication. And then if your child can communicate and they have anxiety or depression, mental health therapy will be really helpful. And if they're a kid, even, they can do mental health therapy and they'll do it as play therapy. MCAT says, is ABA good for level 1 autism? It can be, yeah. You just need to identify what goals your child is going to need to work on. Okay, let me kind of do a little bit of a question here. I want to know who all... Oh my gosh, Nun, thank you so much for the hand heart. Holy cow. I appreciate that. I really do. And the roses, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Who here is waiting for their child to be diagnosed with autism, or waiting for yourself to be diagnosed with autism? Put me in the chat if you are currently on a wait list to get diagnosed, whether for your child or for yourself. Put me in the chat. Okay. Or if you're considering autism. Let me tell you something about this is if you're considering that your child might have autism, or if you have autism, you should know that one of the biggest bottlenecks, one of the biggest barriers to moving forward with services is getting an evaluation. You can't always get ABA therapy unless you have an autism diagnosis. You may not qualify for the other therapies unless you have that diagnosis. And so that diagnosis can be kind of blocking your ability to get these other services. And so since it can take a long time, my first recommendation is you need to call everywhere. You need to try to get in and on multiple wait lists, but acknowledge it might take you 6 months. I had that happen with the first time my child got diagnosed as well. Now, if you just suspect you or your child has autism, you don't necessarily need to jump straight into getting an evaluation. The first step is actually going through screeners. So in my bio, you're going to find free screeners that I've found, that I've linked, that are evidence-based. The first is for toddlers, for little kids, and it is the MCHAT. It's the same free assessment that your doctors do at 18 months and 24 months with your doctors. And so if you're wondering if your child has autism and they're young, go ahead and fill that out. Now, if you're wondering for yourself or for an adult, you want to do the RADS 14. And that's also linked in my bio. It's free. You just go in there, you fill it out. And so, Bad says early intervention started with speech, then OT a few weeks ago. Now we're screening ABA facilities. Bad, you're doing everything. That's amazing. Well done, well done, well done. I always suspected I was autistic, then scored that 38 out of 42 on the RADS. Yeah, and it can't diagnose. The screeners, the purpose of these screeners is to inform you on whether or not you should move forward with a diagnosis. If you got 38 out of 42 on the RADS, that absolutely indicates that you should consider a diagnosis. I think that the cutoff is 14 out of 42 is clinically significant for the RADS, 14 out of 42. It's only 14 questions. Each question's worth 3 points. If you score 14 or higher, it's it's clinically relevant that you might have autism. So go ahead and check that out if you want to. We introduced that for the first time yesterday, and I had 70 people fill it out. And so it's something we're all wondering about ourselves. If you have a child with autism, and then you learn that autism is largely genetic, then absolutely your next thought is, wait, I really like Pokemon cards. I get really hyper focused on these things. Do I maybe have autism? So it's a natural thing to wonder. So MERT for autism. My understanding on MERT is that it is still an emerging science. It is one of those fringe therapies that can be expensive that insurance doesn't pay for. But one of those things to keep your eye on for future research. Anytime you're looking at those things and insurance doesn't pay for it, and it's not considered like evidence-based yet for autism, I recommend going through that as a clinical trial that you can find online, that they're doing like research studies to see if it's effective and help build up this body of research that we need for kids with autism. Mia, what's your view on ABA therapy paired with OT and speech? I'm a licensed behavior analyst. Mia, welcome in, Mia. I love seeing LBAs in here and BCBAs in here. Thank you for being here. I'm also a BCBA. I'm an LBA in Utah. And my opinion is that the best professionals are those who can collaborate with other professionals. What I'm working on with my company is that we are going to be offering all of these services. These 4 frontline therapies for autism, we need to offer all of those and train our people to work collaboratively with others. My biggest red flag in professionals is, if a behavior analyst talks bad about occupational therapy or speech therapy, that's a concern. But likewise, if an OT or a speech therapist is talking negatively about ABA, that's also a concern because it gives off this impression that their therapy is the only thing that's going to help your child, when really what we need is a collaborative approach between these therapies. So Mia, thank you for that question. What a good question. My son has level 2 autism and he is 2 years old. Any advice? None. I absolutely do. Mia, thank you. I agree. I agree as well. That's great. I'm so glad that you agree. My son has level 2 autism and he is 2 years old. Any advice? None. I absolutely have advice for you. My first question for you is, how is your village? Do you have support? Do you have family involved? Do you have friends involved? And that is the absolute first thing I'm going to recommend to you. Piccolo just scored 40 out of 42 on the RADs. Hey, you almost got 100%. I think that's an A. You just passed, Piccolo. You just passed, I think. Okay, his only support he has is me and my sister. Okay. Look, what you need is to increase some of that support. You need a bigger village probably. You have the diagnosis, it sounds like. The next step is you need to get involved in those therapies. What therapies are you involved with right now? Is your child involved with? Do you guys have ABA? Do you have occupational therapy? Do you have speech therapy? At the age of 2, the level means nothing. If your child is level 2 at age 2, most 2-year-olds would score a level 2 on the amount of support that they need. And so don't overthink the level on this. Okay, that is not a predictor of your child's future. Nothing like that. And so please be mindful of that. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, Piccolo did great. Thank you. I have autism. What can help me when I'm overwhelmed? I've literally tried everything. Milo, I'm so sorry. And one thing I want you to know, that what I have to offer right now for you is a little bit of empathy and understanding. Holy cow, Green Eyes. Green Eyes, come on, man. You didn't have to do that, Green Eyes. That was amazing. That was so kind of you. Thank you. I want to give you a little bit of understanding, though. If you, Milo, you're trying to not be overwhelmed. But for those who are listening, people can be very dismissive of people with autism. But that overwhelming feeling is so immense. Let me put it this way. Imagine feeling and hearing everything at the exact same time. Right now, you're not paying attention to the ring that's on your finger, right? You aren't noticing what that felt like right now. You're not noticing what the headphones on your head feel like. You're not noticing what the hair dipping down onto your forehead feels like on your forehead. You're not feeling the socks that are slightly turned on your feet. But people with autism, our brains, Kate, a neurotypical brain quite often filters all of these irrelevant stimuli out. It's called pruning. People with autism, quite often, they prune differently. They prune differently. And what that means is the world is so loud that when I say that you're not feeling all these things, they say, no, actually, I am. You're wrong. I am actually feeling all of these things, and everything is so loud all at the same time. And then people are asking me to do things when I can't even make the world be quiet. And the worst of this is there are studies to suggest that those who struggle with this sensory issues with autism, it doesn't stop at night. They have a harder time getting a deep sleep because their brain doesn't shut down, and they're still experiencing all of those sensory issues through the night. And so, yeah, Melissa, jokes on you, I notice all of it. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't notice those things. I'm not paying attention to all those things going on at once. And it enables my brain to be able to be quiet and focus. And I just, if this resonates with you at all, I just want you to feel validated. Like, that's the big thing. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. When we talk about accommodations, we're not trying to go easy on you. Like, if you're at work and you need accommodations because you have autism, because the world is so loud and you need 5 or 10 minutes every hour to go in the other room for a moment, you should have that. That levels the playing field. That makes it so that you're able to refresh and get back into things. So thank you for that question. I saw someone else who said that they have 38 out of 42 on the, or 37 out of 42 UG. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we were talking about the RADS. If you're an adult, you can go take the RADS 14 on my bio. It gives you your score immediately, and you're able to screen yourself for autism. It doesn't diagnose you. It doesn't diagnose you, but anything over 14 is clinically significant and may indicate that you should consider getting an evaluation. So, Haley, is RADS 14 different than the RADS R? The RADS R is more intensive. And so the RADS 14 is a quick and easy way to do it. There's a more thorough version that's like 80 questions that you can go through. Typically, that's not done as like a pre-screener before calling a psychologist. That's a tool that the psychologist will use during the evaluation. And so you are absolutely able to go and find other places that do that if you want a more intensive look. But the RADS 14 came about by saying, okay, if we were to condense this to the most important 14 things that point to autism to make it quicker and easier for people to do, then you're able to go and take that. So, T here, and find other places that do that if you want. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. All right, everybody. I'm going to open up to people who want to come up and have a conversation. If you want to come up and you have a question for me, feel free to. I see Be True in the guest box. I'll say hi to Be True and see how they're doing. Green Eyes at the gym. Parents, please get workout in, mom or dad. Yes, Green Eyes, absolutely. Go get a good workout in. I just recently built out a little corner of my garage to be a small gym. I got a little power cage in there, some dumbbells, and some mats and stuff. And it's not big, it's not a lot, but I found it's hard to get out of the house and dedicate. The closest gym is 20 minutes away. I'm 40 minutes just in driving, and then and by that point, I only have 15 minutes for a workout. So I had to get a few things in my garage to focus a little bit on my health. It's a good thing to do, you guys. I have a lot of progress I need to make there, but hey, it's okay. At what month can parents realize that the baby has autism? Please tell me. TikTok, let me tell you this. You can start seeing signs very early, even before the age of 1. You can't get a diagnosis of autism typically until 1, and even at 12 months, that's very, very, very young and uncommon. But technically, the instrument used to measure autism, called the ADOS, can be done as early as 12 months. Most psychologists aren't gonna do it till 14, 16 months, sometimes 18 months. Some psychologists don't do it till 2 years. So it really depends on the psychologist that you call, but you can see signs very early on. Guys, this helps a lot. This helps so much. If you guys will please put the first signs of autism that you noticed in your child, please put it in the chat. We have so many people that come in here just wanting to learn, does my child have autism? And having 150 people in the chat share what they saw in their child, the handful of people in here looking at the comments, wondering if their child could be diagnosed, this helps them a lot. So please put it in there. What were the first signs that you saw of your child? And I'll share a little bit. C. Willis just scored 25 out of 42. Okay. Yeah. You know what? That's clinically significant. 25 out of 42 absolutely is clinically significant. Again, it doesn't diagnose autism. Please remember that. There's a lot of false positives that happen. That you feel that way, and anxiety or depression or some other condition better explains that experience. But what it does say is it points you in the direction that, hey, this might be something to look at. All right. Let's see here. Stimming. Okay, so some of the things that I saw, my child, at the age of 6 months, your child should be responding to their name by then. And my son didn't. That was one of the first signs and parts of concern that I'd say his name and he wouldn't look. Seemed like I couldn't get his attention. And he also wouldn't point at things. And I couldn't direct his attention somewhere, you know? If I was like, oh, look at mom, look over there. And I'd point somewhere, like I could not change that attention. And that can be a sign of autism. At around 9 to 12 months, kids learn to point or they look where you're pointing. And so, there's a lot of milestones that just end up being delayed. Now, my daughter was different. She hit all of those milestones and at about 14 months, regressed, stopped responding to her name. Language went down. And at that point, I was like, oh, autism. And after that regression, we were able to get her into the evaluation. Unfortunately, the past 2 months, we have seen massive improvement. I mean, she's not even 2 years old yet. And I think she has probably some better language skills and social skills than my 3.5-year-old son does. And so she has made a very rapid comeback. Still definitely autistic and has a diagnosis. Autism is something that goes away, but yeah. All right. Thank you all for sharing all of that. That's super important. My son would line up toy cars by size and color. Guys, I want to know, this is the time of the live that we can talk about celebrations. I have a big one, you guys. Oh my gosh. This is the sweet. You guys you're going to die. This is the sweetest thing. You've seen my videos about the third eye hug, right? Be thinking of celebrations, by the way. Put them in the chat. I'll read them after I tell this story. But the third eye hug is essentially this thing that we see often in autism. Not all kids with autism do this, but many do. And adults with autism sometimes do this, where they touch foreheads to show connection and affection. And it's pressure, right? It's, rubbing like this. And so I have a video of me and my son going like this and doing the third eye hug. And it's my son's favorite thing. Well, he has recently started doing that with his 2-year-old sister, who also has autism. And they give each other the third eye hug, and they love it. They will go and they, like first thing in the morning, he runs in there and just says her name. That's all. He's not a guy of many words, but he'll say her name, and he gets to her as soon as he can and rubs the head, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful. All right. Maddie, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry. We all kind of say that sometimes. We mean neurotypical. I know what you mean. Chelsea, my son is 4 and finally starting to come when he is called and making progress with potty training. Chelsea, that's a big win. That's a big milestone. All right. Let's see here. My son is finally calling me mama. I love that. Melissa says my son is fully potty trained. So good. Congratulations. Okay, what other celebrations, you guys? What other celebrations are you having? Please help my son understand that I can't fix everything. He's very violent towards me. Solashna, how old are you? How old are you, Solashna? Or how old is your child? Sorry. How old is your child? Solashna. And are they diagnosed with autism? Zahid says, today my daughter started to build blocks in nursery with kids on the carpet, playing with kids and with toys how they should be played with. That is impressive. That is so good. Amazing. Okay. Oh, your child is 24, Solashna, or you are 24? I'm ready to find a job. Amazing, Hannah. Sylvie, yes. Amazing. Oh, Solashna, you're 50. Child is 24. Okay. And he's diagnosed with autism. Look, there needs to be more support for adults with autism. I don't know where you live and what supports are available. And so it's hard for me to give judgment, but what you need for your child, if you're dealing with any serious problem behavior, okay, this is important. Thank you, C. Will. It's good to see you. Let me share something with you guys. If your child is experiencing a very challenging behavior, and I'm saying something that's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe my child just did that or would do that. You need to address it, but you don't need to be the expert on this. if you have a behavior analyst, if you're an ABA, your therapist needs to do a functional assessment with your child. And what that is typically when a child is engaging in a problem behavior, our gut instinct as a parent is we need to reprimand, we need to punish. And at that point, we can build some success and see progress. But the truth is behavior is so much more complex than that, you guys. And so if you have a child with autism, and they're engaging in a problem behavior, we need to understand why. And a functional assessment does that. What they do is they look at, okay, does this typically happen when you ask them to complete a task? Does it do it when they want an item that they can't have? Are they engaging in this behavior when they're being ignored or that they're seeking attention? Are they doing this just because it feels good? And as they come to describe the function of the behavior, they can implement strategies to teach replacement behaviors for that. And so that is what I'm recommending. You're in South Africa. Okay. Yeah, I wish there were more services there. I'm so sorry. Oh, my goodness. Miss Mooney. Okay, my daughter, we refer to her as Miss Mooney. We don't say her real name, but that is a success that my wife put in the chat, is starting ABA. She is currently at her first assessment. Or maybe, are you guys back already, Brooklyn? Are you guys back? I haven't heard anyone come back yet, but I'm not paying attention. But yeah, my daughter is getting her evaluation right now in ABA therapy. So, okay. All right. Early intervention is important. Absolutely, ComTrust. Okay. Let me go ahead, and if you have a question and you want to ask something, I'm going to go ahead and open this up to everybody. Settings, change layout. All right, you guys, request up. If you want to have a conversation, if you have a question, or if you're going through a hard time and want to talk about your child, please request up. We want to have some good conversations here and see how we can support each other. I usually keep guests up pretty quickly. This isn't a long live to have a lot of people up all at once, but we will one by one just kind of talk to people and see how we can support. Looks like that one is not wanting to log in. Let me grab this next person in here. Hello. Welcome in. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you from?
I'm from England.
Wonderful. Do you have a question for us today?
Yeah, so basically, my brother, he's 6, non-verbal.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you have any advice how to, toilet train him.
Yeah. What services is your brother? This is your brother?
Yeah.
First of all, amazing that a sister is coming up and asking questions about her autistic brother to support him. Like, hearts in the chat, you guys. Please put hearts in here for the sister. Like, that is amazing. Please put hearts down there. Thank you for being an amazing sister. I say all the time that siblings of autistic kids are going to change the world. Like, you guys end up being the most beautiful, accepting, loving, supportive people on the planet. I hope you know that. So thank you for coming up and asking about your brother. I will just say that that potty training can be really hard. Okay, have you guys tried stuff already? Have you tried potty training?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just,
and how's it going?
I don't know, not getting it.
Not getting it, huh?
Well, not getting it.
Okay.
But he's good with, weeing on the toilet.
Yeah.
But
not going number 2 on the toilet.
No.
Got it. Okay. The first thing to say is a lot of people feel like they have to get their kid potty trained because that's just what we do. But it is totally normal for kids with autism to take a little bit of extra time. My biggest recommendation for you is we're not going to do diapers anymore. I don't know if he's in briefs, But if you're really into this and you're wanting to make the change, you get him out of briefs at all times.
Yeah.
You implement a sitting schedule where he has to sit on the toilet. You can put rewards in place. But really, every kid is so different that you need to get a professional to help you write a plan. And
Yeah.
that can be like if he's in any kind of therapies, like a behavioral therapy or occupational therapy. Is he getting occupational therapy?
I think we're trying to.
Okay. Yeah, do that, because what your child needs or what your sibling needs is a very specific plan for him. And but you know what? You coming up here, this wasn't about toilet training. I want you to know you are an amazing sister, that you are an amazing support. Please keep doing that. Thanks for being an amazing sibling. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next person. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, everybody. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and bring the next person on here. We love having these conversations. All right. Comtrust, hello. How are you?
Hello, thank you, fine. And you?
I'm good. Where are you from?
I'm just now in Norway.
Oh, you're in Norway. Well, great. What can I do for you? What question do you have for us today?
Well, I have a tip to the party training. The children learn from each other, you know.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Can you say that again?
The children learn to see by each other, other children.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Children do learn from observing and looking at other children. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a tip if she has possible to have other kids, you know, other friends.
To help with the toilet training, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Modeling
that's
is
a
very
good tip.
important. I appreciate you for coming up and sharing that. Thank you so much for giving that advice. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to someone who has a question for us. All right, Crazy Destiny, you requested up, but then I accepted and he went away. Destiny, you can always come up and chat with us too. I got a few people on here that I bring up sometimes. Crazy, hello. Where are you from?
Hi, I'm from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Well, Appleton specifically.
Wonderful. Well, what question do you have for us today?
So I have autism myself, and I'm trying to look for like an AAC device and like an app I can use
Yeah.
that and I also want to know like what are the benefits of, because I have my own phone that I can use an AAC app on my phone, but
Yeah.
I want to know if there's any benefits of using it on an iPad, like a bigger screen.
Well, my question to you is, do you need it? Are there
Yeah.
times where you're not able to vocally speak?
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you do with using your phone? Is it pretty comfortable to you to use?
Kind of, yeah.
Do you carry it around with you everywhere you go?
Yeah.
That's going to be much better for you than an iPad. If you want something that helps a little bit with this, absolutely. You're not always going to have an iPad to carry around with you, and it's, you're going to be at work or school or wherever you go. Having a device that you can always have is going to be much better than having the iPad. So my recommendation though is, do you have a speech therapist that works with you?
No, not yet.
Okay, find a speech therapist for yourself. If you feel like you need an AAC device, they can do different assessments, decide what specific app would work with what you need, and could also work with you on, other things. Of maybe you start with having an AAC in some situations that are hard for you, but also be able to learn to overcome some of those challenges so you can vocally communicate during those moments. So get a speech therapist, okay, Crazy? That's my recommendation for you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for being up here. And welcome to the village. We're glad that you're here. Remember, guys, this is a safe place, whether you have autism, whether you have a child that you think might have autism, or whether they're diagnosed with autism. If you're a grandparent or a sibling, if you're connected to autism, if you're a professional, this is a safe place for you guys, okay? Let's go ahead and be bringing on the next person here. We can have some conversations. There we go. Lexi, bringing you up. How you doing, Lexi? Having a good day?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
You sound robotic. I think there might be something wrong. You might want to unmute, or hop back up. Sarah, hello. Welcome in. Where are
Hi.
you from?
Hello, I'm from the UK.
Wonderful, wonderful. What can we do for you today? What question do you have?
So my question is about nonverbal, condition, like, because my husband has autism and my son has autism, but he's nonverbal. So, I don't know, like, does he understand me properly, or, how can I communicate with him? Because I tried, everything. I tried the AAC and I tried pictures and, a lot of other things, sign
Yeah.
language, but I just feel like maybe there might be a different way to communicate with him that you might help me with.
Yeah. How old is he?
He is gonna be 7 in May.
Okay. And what supports is he getting right now? What different therapies, or is he going to
Um,
school? What's his life looking like right now?
so right now he is going to a specialist school, and he's getting all the help there because in the UK we don't get like funded therapies or anything. Even the therapies that we can get are really expensive. We can't really afford like speech therapists and stuff. So everything that he gets, it's at school. So they do things with him in the school, like they do like play based, where they try to help him understand things, and it's all in his education healthcare plan which he
Yeah.
has. So the only support is at school really, but at home we're trying to communicate with him, but then there will be times where where he has a meltdown or he's just looking into my eyes and he's trying to say something, and I don't know how I can help him.
Are there ever moments where your child um, doesn't say what he wants, but you know what he wants by something he does? Does he hand lead you to anything, or how do you know his wants and needs right now?
I like he does hand lead most
Okay.
of the time, and it's like a pattern which I have, like, because he thrives on routine, and then we just do things by routine, and then I know, okay, this is what he wants. Maybe he's crying, maybe he's hungry. I kind of guess sometimes, and sometimes because he's growing up,
Yeah.
he probably has so many things he wants to share because he's at school most of the time, and when he comes home and he's overwhelmed, and I don't know
You want him to have
how
that
I can
voice.
help. Yeah, maybe he's trying to share something like, oh, I had a bad day, or I'm too overstimulated, and it's just like sometimes I don't know. I try to help like with writing things down, and I say, "Are you sad? Are you happy?" And then sometimes he'll just smile because he's like, "Okay, she's writing letters, and I enjoy letters. I like letters." So he
Yeah.
kind of connects with me in different ways, but it's just like I feel like, does he understand my words? Like when I'm talking to him, I don't know. Does he
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Because I try to speak to him just like how I'm speaking to you. I
Yeah.
don't I don't speak with him like, oh, he doesn't know. Like I try to think maybe he
You
does.
assume he knows, and
Yeah,
yeah,
assume that he
absolutely.
knows.
Look, I want you to know what you're going through is so hard, because as
Yeah.
a parent, we just want to know what they're thinking. I talk all the time about, would you cure your child's autism? And I say no, but I would definitely cure my
Mm,
child's inability to speak. Like, man, I would
absolutely.
love for my child to be able to tell me his thoughts and why is he so upset. And I'm grateful my child is starting to say some words, but
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
it's still, it's not there, and it's
Yeah.
frustrating and it's concerning, and I can tell he has so much to say, and I
Yeah.
would definitely cure that part of him. And
Exactly.
there is not, unfortunately, a cure for that. There's just support. And
Hmm.
the first thing is, this is a hard thing, and there are going to be false promises made to you if you start
Hmm.
digging deep into ways to help your child talk. You're going to find things like
Hmm.
spelling to communicate,
Hmm.
which operates under the assumption of, oh, your kid deep down really is intelligent and can
Hmm.
actually like spell words, not just read words. And we just need to kind of guide him to be able to type. And there's a lot of
Hmm.
things like that I want to encourage you to stay away from. Those are not found to be effective. The supports that your child needs, number one, speech therapy. Have you guys started speech therapy at all?
So the only speech therapy is at school. So once a week there's a speech therapist that comes to see him, and then they're trying to, do the everything in the school.
Okay.
So it's not something that we can take him somewhere and then they'll give him sessions. There's not anything like that we can do for him.
Okay. What I want to advise you to do is focus on where your child is at, and what I'm hearing. The first thing that you need to be focused on is communicative intent. And what that means is that sometimes our children don't have the words, but they make actions that let us know what they want or need. And those are the prime moments where learning can happen. And so taking advantage of those moments, if they lead you to the iPad, let's say, and he wants to turn on the iPad, I'm just giving an example. What you're going to want to do is the very first thing is you just say the name of it. That's it. That's it. You don't say this or say that, and you focus on communicative intent. The other thing I want to tell you is one of the leading indicators that your child is going to learn to communicate is that they can imitate actions. Like if you clap your hands, they clap their hands. And if your child does that,
yes.
Does he do that?
He does that, yes.
Does he? Okay.
He does.
Okay, this is huge. Look, I want to tell you, if your kid is imitating, motor actions, that is another great place to start. Because what that tells you is that when he does what you do, it benefits him. So encourage that as much as possible. Do as many of those activities as you can. Be, not just clapping, but any action that you can do and prompt him to imitate. If you're building that up, communication can follow. And that can open you up. If he's imitating a lot of what you do, that opens him up to starting sign. And
that
sign
is amazing.
maybe.
I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me that.
Absolutely. I really encourage you to do that, but also know that look, you're not alone, and we're here for you. There's a village here, and it's rough. We're going through this all together. And
thank you so much. Honestly, it's like I can't believe that how many people in this world, when you go on social media, I've been watching you for a while, and I just came on today, and I thought, you know what, because you have a lot of knowledge yourself about this, but it's amazing that the support system that we have now for children with autism, or parents that have children with autism, and it's just amazing, isn't it?
Incredible.
How we can just come together and talk about it.
It helps me so much. I mean, I do this live more for myself than anyone else, and I need the support. I need the love. I need the village. So you're spot on.
Just know that you're doing great as well. You're telling
Sarah,
everyone they're doing great. You're doing amazing as well.
Oh my gosh.
Taking your time out to help other
on
parents.
Thank you, Sarah. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
All right,
Thank
you have
you.
a good day.
All right. You too.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Can you hear me better now?
I can hear you better, Lexi.
Okay.
How you doing,
Just
Lexi?
wanted- Good. Just here.
Awesome. Oh, okay. This is a good day, you guys. How's everyone feeling? I'm curious. Put in the chat on a scale of 1 to 10, how burned out are you right now? How you doing? I want to know. Are we a 10, meaning we're all the way burned out? Like a 10 is like, I don't think I'm gonna make it till tomorrow. Like I am that burnt out. 1 is like, hey, I'm going to the movies. And that's me today. I'm like a 2 or a 3 because you know what? I'm going to a movie later today, and I'm feeling pretty good today. But I have my days, and today's a pretty good one. So, Lexi, where would you fall today?
I would say I'm about a 6. Usually that's my norm during the week because I got to run to school, to ABA therapy, to all this, and I got to make lunch for him, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. So during the week is a little more stressful than maybe like the weekend, just depending on his mood.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm actually doing pretty well. I'm about a 6 today.
I love that. We have some 10s on here. Solashna, I'm so sorry. Princess, Faiza, it looks like we have people really going through things. Tanya, past exhaustion. I've had those days. I've had those months, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. If you're going through a hard time, I enjoy seeing the people that aren't struggling as much, but for those that are, I'm so sorry. Faiza, bringing you up here. I know you have some thoughts. We'll see if it'll load you in. You had a question, and you're also struggling a bit today. It sounds like you're at a 10, maybe. Faiza, it's not letting you in, so I'm gonna drop you, and then I'll send you another request. Okay, let's see if this works to get you in. Let's see here. All right, Faiza. Let's see if we can get you in, Faiza. I don't like hearing that someone's a 10 and they're going through a hard time. So, okay. We'll see. I don't. Maybe she had to go. That's okay. That's okay, you guys. So Lashna, I'm so sorry, and you have cancer. Oh my gosh, yeah, you're going through it right now. What a difficult season of life that you're in. Ruby, my son, 7 years old, he has too much hand flapping. Ruby, sometimes hand flapping's okay. All the time, hand flapping's fine. It feels good. It's regulating, Ruby. So that part's okay as long as they're staying safe. Are they safe doing it, Ruby? Oh, Solashna, it's not letting me request you. It's not letting you come up. Let's see here.
Do they have enough followers to come up? Because that can be a thing too.
Yeah, and I think it depends on where they live as well, that sometimes they restrict things. So
yeah, sorry, TikTok has their things.
Yeah, and my TikTok's been so weird today. Like I keep trying to accept people in and then people don't load in. I don't know.
Mine has been weird since yesterday. Like it kept lagging. It kept cutting me off lives. It was crazy yesterday. I think Oracle's probably doing another update, which we all know how that goes.
Yeah.
A couple days of, being hard on us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't see Destiny back in here. She was trying to request up here. So Lashna, I can talk on live here. You can put it up there. I can't do one-on-ones. I just have so much and so many people to support that what we do is we have a Facebook group that you can join, and please open up on there. Join the Facebook group, open up, be honest, and we will talk to you, and a Discord chat if Discord is easier, Facebook or Discord, and you can open up, and we got support. We're here to give you hugs. We're here to give you love. We're here to laugh and cry with you, and so please join those, and we can have more conversations on there. Destiny, how are you doing today?
I'm hanging in there. I think I have the keto flu, so I don't feel great.
Oh shoot, you're doing keto right now?
Yeah, so I was on beta blockers and steroids and like 10,000 milligrams of sodium for a really long time, so I've got quite a bit of water weight. So I'm doing keto for a little bit to kind of get rid of some water weight, and then moving over to an anti-inflammatory diet, which I've been everything that we're doing is anti-inflammatory, pretty much like 1 ingredient foods, no seed oils. And my husband's lost 10 pounds in the last 7 days.
Holy cow.
I'm like, how rude.
That's amazing.
I don't recall you having 2 Ziploc babies. Now you have to go buy new work.
Men lose weight more than women on those types of diets.
I know, it's rude.
It is rude.
Guys, we're autism parents. You don't need to be worrying about your weight, you guys. It's fine.
Some of us do.
Just be healthy. We're good.
Well, that's another thing. Like, we just feel so much better. And like my coffee creamer. So I was trying to find a good coffee creamer, and I used the Coffee Mate butter, some cookie butter or whatever. And at the bottom of the ingredient list, it says ingredients derived from bioengineered source. I said, what?
I wonder what that is.
There's no way that's good for you. So I was like looking at other things in my pantry. Our tortilla chips said the same thing. I'm like, this is crazy. And I found swaps. Like Jackson's potato chips are just potatoes, salt, and avocado oil. Why do we need bioengineered? That's terrifying.
Oh my gosh. That's
You
funny.
know what's a good replacement for coffee creamer?
Tell me, girl, please. 'Cause this
Premier.
coffee is not good.
Okay, so get a Premier Protein, the cafe latte one, and it's just like putting creamer. I have it every single morning because I have medical stuff going on, and I have to make sure that I keep my diabetes under control, so I can't have a lot of sugar and I can't have, it's just a mess. Anyways,
I tried the Premier Protein. Was it the chocolate? I think it was the chocolate or the mocha, and it was not good. It had like a chalky taste to it. This morning I tried the Chike protein coffee, and that was okay. But I'm picky about coffee.
Yeah, I would say the Premier Protein with either the cafe latte or the vanilla are pretty good as replacements for creamer, because I haven't been able to find anything that's, I mean, it's not going to be the same. Creamer has a lot of sugar and it has a lot of other things in it, and it's probably not going to taste exactly the same, but it kind of does the job.
We're autism parents. Like, we have to be caffeinated one way or another. And I know caffeine is not considered anti-inflammatory, but it's a non-negotiable. I'll get headaches. I don't want to go through caffeine withdrawal. You can bury me with it. I don't care.
Yeah, I say the same thing. It's like, the only thing I cannot have is you take away my coffee. Like, I need my coffee. I'm not going to function without it. I can't.
However, before I found the protein coffee, I had the worst caffeine headache. Like, I couldn't drink the coffee. It was too nasty. So I went to the gas station and I got an Alani, which I've never had before because I have heart problems. And I got addicted to them for like a week. And I was like, no, this is bad. I can't do this. That stuff's in heaven. I'm telling you, whoever made Alani is going to heaven, because that stuff is addicting. It's delicious. It, like, the cotton candy tastes like it has an absurd amount of sugar in it, and it doesn't. It's probably terrible for you, but I had to get off that before it went bad.
I can have about 100 milligrams of caffeine, and then anything beyond that, my anxiety goes too high from it. Mine.
I can't ever tell if it's the caffeine or just like my condition, because my heart rate's always crazy and I always feel jittery and I always feel icky. So I'm like, I'm gonna feel this way anyways. I might as well be caffeinated.
Yeah.
Yes, Brooklyn, but I can't do it. I gotta be good.
Oh, Brooklyn, are those the ones that you have? Yeah, I think she usually buys those. That's funny. All right, you guys. Well, Destiny, you have some exciting stuff that's going to be coming up. I don't know. Do we talk about that yet, or after it happens, maybe?
I mean, I guess. Yeah.
You can talk. Yeah.
So I was making calls I'm in Alabama, and I was making calls because it's a dumpster fire over here. Called the senator and was making posts on Facebook, and I guess a news reporter saw my post. I was so shocked when she called. I didn't even think to ask how she got my number. But she called me and she's like, hey, this is a news reporter with so-and-so. I was wondering if you'd be willing to do an interview with me about the crisis, the autism crisis happening in Alabama. And I paused and she's like, hello. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm just processing what you just said. I didn't respond to her. I was like, yeah, I guess. And as soon as I hung up the phone, I regretted it. I was like, television, the World Wide Web.
That's so cool.
Why did I agree?
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, guys, these platforms, it gives us courage to go and do these hard things, these hard conversations, and advocate for our kids. And Destiny, I think the biggest thing that you can do is be open about your kid, be open about your little guy, and how you're terrified for what his future is going to look like if he doesn't get these essential services. Like, that is what the news wants to hear. You don't have to have all the data. You don't have to know everything. They need to hear from you how it's impacting you as a mom. And that's all. Like, that will do enough.
Well, thankfully, I stayed up a little bit and worked on things and got things together. But I want to have the facts, but I also want to display it and convey it in a way that people who are not in the autism world understand. Because here's the thing. This is what some people have said in the comments, that they don't have Medicaid, they're not affected. I said every autism family, if you have private insurance, you're affected, because guess what? Majority of the children who are receiving ABA in our state have Medicaid. So guess what? These clinics are not being reimbursed properly. The same clinic that your child uses, they don't separate by who has what insurance. No. So if they're not being paid properly, period, by any insurance company, they're underfunded and they're not able to run. So that clinic that your child goes to who has Blue Cross Blue Shield is going to shut down because of Medicaid, and you will be affected. This affects all of us. It's not just children we don't have Medicaid and it affects us. It's statewide. Clinics are shutting down all over because they can't afford to keep running.
Yeah. So frustrating. Let me, I think Tiwa wants to come up, but it's not letting me let you up. She's been in the chat quite a bit. Let me try one more time. There's a lot of people I want to have up here, but let's see. Maybe I'll let you up this time. Tiwa, you've been really patient. I know there's a lot of people in there that want to have a conversation. Tiwa, hello. Where are you calling in from?
Oh my goodness, Ohio.
Wonderful.
Yes. I was born and raised in Ohio. Where at in Ohio?
Columbus, Ohio.
Wonderful.
You can hear me?
Yep, we can hear you great. How can we help you today? What are you going through?
No, I don't need help. I just want to share. As a parent, we are.
Yeah.
Even the doctor, I question a lot of questions. So all we did this, you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I am not American. My first language is not English. But I question everything.
Yeah.
Even so, as a parent, my son, he's 16 years old now. 16 years old.
Yeah.
Non-verbal. So as a parent, we can change the world.
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yeah, so your 16-year-old, you say is nonverbal right now. You got a 16-year-old.
Yes.
Goodness. Beautiful.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's a lot. What advice would you give? I'm about to the end of the
That's
live.
why
I keep Tell me one more little bit of advice that you have.
I never been. I was trying to speak someone else to encourage. Okay. Good. A potty train, anything. A kid is how's the parent being. My son, I took him. Even Las Vegas we went to. You say Utah? Yeah. I've been.
Yeah, Utah's great.
Yes.
Well, thank you. You're amazing. Thank you for being an autism parent.
So I was trying to encourage. They can read. They can read their parents.
Yeah.
They can read. If my house is messy, I wish I can see you I can show you my house.
Yeah, don't judge my house. My house sometimes is a little messy.
It's fine. No. They are very smart.
Yeah.
I questioned the doctor even when he was before he turned 2 years old.
Yeah.
So I questioned her, why is it he take a shot? This is not gonna be? Imagine 16 years old I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, Tiwa, I do need to go ahead and move on because we are coming to the end of our live. Thank you so much for your support, for being here, for being an autism mom. I can't imagine having a 16-year-old nonverbal kid. I mean, I don't know what my kid's going to be like when he's 16. And I know he's going to have some support needs, but I don't know what those are going to be. So keep it up. Thank you for encouraging all of us. And I'll do my best to keep my house clean. All right, everybody. If you are here, if you are new here, let me give a quick little rundown of what we do here so you can know to make sure that you're following. The follow button is right here. We do go live on a daily basis for about 2 hours. We talk about autism, all things autism. If you have autism, if you have a child with autism, if you just want to learn about autism, if you're a professional working with people with autism, you're in the right place. I'm a father with 2 children diagnosed with autism, and I am a board-certified behavior analyst, so I've done ABA therapy, or I do ABA therapy. I also run a company that provides services to people in Utah. We are just barely opening up our 4th clinic. It's taking a lot of my time and focus to get that opened up. It's so exciting. But that's what we do every day. So make sure you're following so you can see next time when I go live. Usually it's around noon Eastern time. We go for a couple hours. Lexi, Destiny, anything else on your guys' mind before we end the live for today? Anything else you guys wanted to talk about or share?
I'm good.
I just wanted to tell you, yesterday my son got another behavior bucks, which is like his school version of he did a good job following safety protocols at school. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh
He's
my
never
gosh.
gotten like good behaviors at his old school, but now at this new school, it's a complete 180. He is doing so amazing.
That's so cool.
And I'm so excited for him. I just wanted to share that with
this
everybody.
This is a problem that
There
I
is hope.
see with a lot of schools is they reward the good kids and they punish the bad kids. Instead of what needs to happen is you need to reward the bad kids more, but when they do the good things. So the people that really need those reward programs, and I say bad kid, I'm not saying your kid is bad. Your kid is not bad. But what needs to happen is if they have a concern with a child, that is the one who needs to be earning the most bucks or rewards or programs, and when they're doing the things that we want to see more of. And it just breaks my heart when I hear people that have support needs that are being ignored and not being focused on. I'm so glad, Lexi, that your kid is being better taken care of at this new school.
Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. I guess I got to end, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and thank you all for being here. We will chat tomorrow. Melissa, I see your message. Kentucky, next on the list, I guess, after Alabama, Destiny, or Arizona. I don't know. We got lots of places to go, lots of places. Thank you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye. See you tomorrow.